Good morning, Pool Player Nation. Welcome to Orlando, Florida for continuing coverage of the 2024 U.S. Amateur Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association, and our coverage brought to you by our good friends at PoolDog.com. I'm your host, Jason Bowman, and I'm joined by Double J, Jeremy Jones. Jeremy, our first couple days here at the U.S. Amateur, it was all eyes on the women's division. Now we turn our attention squarely on the 128-player stacked field in the open division.
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep running across more great players in the hallways and whatnot. Of course, it's a big field, and we'll see who takes it down.
Absolutely. So let's take a quick look at the format for the U.S. Amateur Championship Open Division. The Open Division is a double elimination tournament up until the final match. Each match is a race to 7, 5 games of 8-ball, up to 8 games of 9-ball, and the winner of the lag can opt to choose either the format or take the break. Our match here this morning is going to feature Richard Andrews of Huntsville, Alabama, versus Jason Rogers of Dunn, North Carolina. These players are ready to get things started. Let's take you down into the pit for the start of this great match. You see Richard on the left there in the blue, Jason on the right in the black. Looks like Richard will win the lag, and he's going to take the break. Richard takes the break. Jason has opted to start in the, can you see the template rack there, Jeremy?
I think it's 8-ball.
8-ball, yeah. No surprise, but
yeah, talk to a couple players that have chosen 9-ball here in the Open to start their first few matches. Just feel like they want to get it going. Feel like there's a little more pressure playing 9-ball for both opponents to start. But it's been mainly 8-ball, especially here we've seen on the main table. I'll tell you, I walked away yesterday, Jason, after that tournament was over, and really impressed with all the ladies, how they played. And really seemed like all of them got better and better once it got closer to crunch time, which is really impressive.
And this is going to be a match on the one-loss side of the bracket this morning, so one of these players will move forward. One will exit the tournament at the conclusion of this match. Richard Andrews will have the break. Richard is a former runner-up in the U.S. Amateur Championship back in 2006.
Yeah, Richard's a mainstay here, really, at the U.S. Amateurs. I think this is my 5th year of doing the commentary, and I think maybe he missed 1 year, but overall he's qualified for this event many times.
He's one of these guys that somehow finds a way almost every year to top his field at the local preliminary.
Yeah, and he's just a player that doesn't quit, as far as always still trying to improve, figure out more things about the game. And he's really a student of the game, Richard is, and a competitor as well. Now he's made it solid, so it's going to be a difficult one to start, that's for sure. Not many choices on the solids. I'll tell you, this 4-ball, you want to try and cut it in the side, but what a shot, and what a tough shot to start this match. Little thick. No, it's dead center. Well, he did a lot with that shot as well. He opened up the 7, made the 6 pretty easy. Now a very runnable rack.
And you see there as Richard leans over the table in that nifty blue jersey. You see on the back there his son Daniel, Dr. Daniel Andrews, who sadly passed away earlier this year. Richard and Daniel shared a big love for the sport of pool, and I know Richard is likely playing for Daniel here in this tournament, so really love seeing that jersey.
Yeah, and I think I think there's many people out there thinking about Daniel all the time. I only got to spend a little time being around him. A really good player, and he seemed like an even better guy.
Well, seemed like a talented young man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, I only had a few interactions, but he was one that played here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Obviously was a dentist, a doctor, talented young man. I know Richard would love nothing more than to bring home that trophy in his honor.
Absolutely. And Richard trying to make a nice out here to open this match. Just kind of hold the cue ball for the 2 on the side, most likely. Oh, he kind of drew it and checked it back. Yeah. Had a little juju on that one there, Jason. A little something extra. Now he's in perfect shape just to roll forward, excuse me, and get the 3 in the upper corner. So we've had a lot, and the ladies anyways, we've only had one match here on the main table in the open event, but a lot of the ladies picking the format and giving up the break. Oh, I was going to say, now Richard taking the break, and I thought was going to be full advantage of it here in the first game, but an unexpected miss there.
We'll see if Jason can capitalize here. Jason Rogers, again, he's out of Dunn, North Carolina.
Yeah, the Carolinas always producing so many great players through the years, and the funny thing about them is it's not always the big names that you're used to hearing about. There's just many great players throughout the Carolinas. Big pool area. Now he's got kind of free reign somewhat. I would say the 3 you could kick it in, but if he doesn't like something, he can play a pretty simple safety. Just like here, if you're a little worried about the 9, just kind of bump it, make sure you get a rail.
This is Jason's first time competing at the U.S. Amateur Championship.
Okay, what I like that he did here is he stopped the ball to where the 14 really cut off the natural kick coming across. So now Richard will go 2 cushions, maybe 3, depending if he catches the rail right before the 3 ball or ball first. Richard obviously has a little bit of a system or reference for these kick shots. I think as much as anything on the slick table, that's the one that gets players is kicking at the ball. The table just reacts a little different coming off the rail, and the exact same thing is for the professionals, like the Moscone Cup, where the table's real slick. You'll see quite a few kicks missed that you don't expect. All right, it should be these 4 stripes on the bottom end, the 13, 12, 10, and 11. And then back up for the 14, 9 last. Now these first 4, just stop here, play the 12, then the 10, and then the 11 last. You always want to look for minimal cue ball movement in 8 ball. What kind of connects the dots? Maybe a hair thinner here than he wanted, but he can ease this in. Just take a straight in on the 14. That'll get you a stop shot on the 9 to get on the 8. It's going to be a little heavy. Friendly bump on the 8 ball. It's going away from the 14 a little bit. That's what the natural angle on the 9 is, and there's not a ton of angle. So he's going to have to get into this a bit, how he held it. So he took a little thinner shot. You can see Jason gets on with it seems like, right?
Mm-hmm. Jason Rogers from Dunn, North Carolina strikes first, takes an early 1-0 lead in this race to 7. He'll have the break when we return in just a few moments. All right, we are back here in Orlando, Florida, continuing coverage of the 2024 U.S. Amateur Championship. Jason Rogers at the table now, his first break of this match. Couple of stripes on the break.
Yeah, going with the second ball break. We've seen that a few times here on the main table. 2 stripes, no solids. He's got a nice starter on the 12, but he's got to make a good plan. Not sure the 11 goes. Everything else has a pocket, but certainly not easy. So it looks like he pretty much has to slide over for the 14. In that corner pocket on the left, top left of your screen as you're looking now. If he falls right here, though, he could get out. It's a little shy. So now it's going to be hard to move the cue ball very much on the 14. He can still shoot it, but the problem is he can get something thin on the 13, but the 11's still an issue. He's going to come off the right side of the 14, kind of guide behind the 13. Pretty smart shot. Of course, Richard, a very smart player, is going to recognize the dilemma that Jason has with that 11 ball and just having just 3 stripes left on the table with so many solids for Richard. I'd like to leave him long here somehow. If you're going to open the 6 ball, you got to make sure you get the snooker. If you're a little shy, real good speed there. Could leave him a shot on the 13 where Jason could produce something, but smart play.
Richard back to the table here.
Yeah, I like just coming off the 3 ball, really, and just kind of coasting up that rail, trying to play the safety one more time. The stripes are open now, so take on a tough shot and you miss, and don't get me wrong, you got to gamble sometimes, but here he doesn't necessarily have to gamble. He's going to take on this 6 ball, I think, anyways. Oh, he took on the 1. Nice shot. And he had a little bit of a backdoor safety in mind. You saw him follow the cue ball up the table just in case. Yeah, if he's going to shoot the 7, I was going to say he's got to kind of push through on it. It's kind of an odd shot, really. So he may come across and get somewhat straight on the 3 and then play from the behind on the 5 and 7. And he got a little more distance here on this ball. So a hair more missable. It appears he can get at the 13. It's a tough shot, obviously, but you kind of need a little bit of spin maybe to get position, so that makes it a little tougher. That meaning side spin. Could just kind of cinch the ball and take, kind of play from where the cue ball lands. I don't really think there's a great safety there. You could, kind of bump the 11 or even the 13 and drop behind the 11 maybe. It looks like he's playing the safety now. Lots of support for both players online. Always good to see. I'll tell you, I might kick behind this 3 ball here and just kind of let the cue ball go up to the end rail. The 5 obviously doesn't play. Could go for the combination maybe on the 7 in the corner. I think I'd make him earn it from the end rail here, though. It's early in the match. Yeah, he was trying to get all the way to the end cushion. The 14 does slide by the 12, so it's a shootable ball. It's a little tight, but definitely playable.
Brings Richard back to the table here. Trying to even this match at 1 game apiece. Again, this is a race to 7 in the Open Division.
Yeah, we talked about Richard's jersey and Jason wearing a brass tap billiards jersey, kind of a legendary pool room from the Raleigh, North Carolina area. Used to have many great tournaments, really kind of a pro event there every year. Had a bunch of Hall of Famers, big names y'all would know. Nice recovery shot there, kind of after missing a few balls and just a couple, strokes he didn't like. A nice one there to get started. Still got some work, though. Got to come across for the 3. The 8's a little funny. It does look like the 8 goes in the side, though. So he probably plays this a bit on the lighter end, trying to hold.
Boy, that 3 ball really giving him problems. That's the 3rd shot in the first 2 racks that he's struggled with the 3 ball.
Yeah, we always talk about it yesterday about always picking out a ball, but it's to that corner also that's been that's been pretty stingy. I got to put a little draw stroke in this. Doesn't need a ton, just to get on the 11 is good enough. He's overdrawn it. Now he's got no pocket. Good thing is the 3's a little out of play, so he can play pretty easy safety, running the cue ball up the table. Okay, probably doesn't want to make that. Wants to put all the pressure on Richard with one lonely 3 ball. Well, this is thin. I think he's got to go for it, though.
Jason back to the table now.
All right, you need to kind of smooth this a little bit. If you overhit it and you hit it too thick, the cue ball may not go anywhere. Well, that was quite the opposite. It went way up table. This 13, or this 12 rather, I'm sorry, is a hair off the rail, so easy to overcut it, believe it or not. Yeah, just to the outside of the pocket. Hit it pretty well, really. Now Richard looking to see if he can maybe just kind of bump the 3 towards that upper left pocket, not really try to make it. Leave things tough on Jason. Bring the cue ball over to the upper right corner. If he makes it, though, he's got to shoot away, so now things are a little different.
Finally pockets that pesky 3 in the corner. Now he's got to contend with the 8, though. All right.
Yeah, you know he wants to work the cue ball somewhat safe, though, so this will have a little speed, I think. Yeah, trying to get the cue ball back over. You can see him point the cue stick there. Oh, nice shot. Really good cueing. Even got a little applause from his opponent. It's funny how that cue ball finds a rail so often. Just be roaming around. Seems like there's a magnet. Makes things a little more difficult.
Pockets the 8 in the corner, takes a 2-0 lead in this race to 7. Jason Rogers will have the break when we return again in just a moment.
I can't believe it. You did it. We're going to Vegas. Oh my.
Welcome back to continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Jason Rogers at the table with the break.
Well, I'm pretty unlucky here. It's made a stripe, but I don't think he can get at any stripe directly. It's going to be some type of kick shot. Now here you don't want to disrupt too much just because you're not going to continue shooting. So you have to try and make a good hit, obviously. Don't want to give up ball in hand, but you don't want to disrupt like the 4. You want to make things and leave things as difficult as possible for your opponent. So I think just kick across at the 14. You may pocket the 13 in the side. He let it go long. And, okay, didn't open up that 4, but Richard will have ball in hand, so maybe he can address that problem pretty much immediately. Well, I'm surprised he's not looking at the 4 here. The 4 is the real issue.
Pockets the 6 in the corner. Looking at the tip of his cue after that shot.
Yeah, miscued.
Brings Jason back to the table.
Now, Jason has a lot of issues also. I don't know if I even try to start running these balls. I just don't see the out there with the 14-13. Kind of in a nasty situation. Now, if he can get to where maybe he can play like the 11 off the 13, if that was possible, to open them balls. He's got a nice here on the 10, though, to draw into the 13-14 and make this a very doable out. I mean, it's just absolutely ideal, I think. Can come in here with a bit of control, excuse me. Got plenty of angle, so he doesn't have to hit it very hard. He's looking at a safety here. That's okay. I think pretty smart, though. Because a lot of times if you don't feel like you're going to get out, you don't want to keep running balls. You want those soldiers out there. Kind of makes things more difficult on your opponent. Jason keying on, excuse me, that 4 ball being tied up for Richard, but just play something simple on a safety here. I think Richard's got chances to get that 4 open. I may have to go for this 11 because Jason's shown us he can knock the ball in, and the balls are runnable if he can get the 11 down. Great shot. Very good cueing. Now he's got the 13. He's got a little angle. I like to just simply come 1 rail up between the 10-14 off this bottom cushion. Didn't expect that.
Be ball in hand to Richard.
Yeah, like before with that ball in hand, he really needs to take care of this 4 ball, get the 1 and 2 out of there, and come back down for the 3-7 to finish. Now, not easy to move the cue ball when you're in such tight quarters behind this. I like him maybe playing the other corner like there, yeah. Let's get a little more space. He can go towards the 2 and 1 with the cue ball a little easier. Even if you have to play the 2-1 combination, it's not very difficult, not a lot of angle. You should be able to hold position. I like his choice there, though. I think the side doesn't lead you to the 1 and 2 very well. I'd much rather take care of those 2 balls next. I think Jason asked for the referee to be on top of this just because there is close quarters with the cue ball. Easy to double hit it. And this is the problem with the 2-1. Unless you set up a little thicker on the combination, or a little easier, let's say, it's not going to be easy if you knock this 1 in to get back to that 2. So it may have to be the 1, then the 3-7, then back for the 2 last prior to the 8. Yeah, and Richard just off with the timing a little bit, Jason. You're a sports guy. You know how that is.
Timing is everything.
Yeah. It's what makes the game easier, most sports easier, but when it's off a little bit, it can be troublesome. Now, a little fortunate he's covered up that lane for the 15 ball. So Jason, even though a shot, he's got to do a lot to get out. Really nice stroke, both these guys. You can see how they got here. Very good cueing. Is he going to try and pocket the 1 with the 15, some kind of safety there? Try and get the cue ball maybe behind the 10 and 8. Gives you quite a bit of room with 2 balls to try and get the snooker on the 3-7. You're not going to get the snooker on the 2, obviously, but a very smart shot. Made them both.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that, probably. Boy, this is thin in the side. He is close to it, though. This is where you want to stay away from spinning this ball in. You want to just flat cut it. And close to it, it's hard to predict the curve of the cue ball.
Another opportunity now for Richard.
And again, when the timing's off, what happens is you miss hit the cue ball a little bit, and you can see the path of the cue ball wasn't what he wanted there. Kind of like hitting the toe or the heel on the golf club.
Yeah.
Will
For
not
the
bring,
3 in the side? No.
yeah. Will not bring up that shank word, right? Don't want to bring that one up. That one's the one that hurts the most. Kind of a miscue there, huh?
Yeah, looking at that tip again.
All right, Jason has knocked in a lot of these types of balls already, so got to consider him a favorite.
Cannot pocket the 8 there, though. And new life for Mr. Andrews in this rack as he continues to work on that tip before the shot.
I'll tell you, it's impressive every year how many more top amateur players really come to this event or try to qualify and win this event, realizing the prestige of the U.S. amateurs.
You know, I was thinking, we don't have a Q guy here this year, do we, or do we?
Like a repair guy?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
No, do not have one this year. Okay.
Of course, there are so many pool rooms and places in the Orlando area. You got to figure there are some Q repair people.
Sure. Yeah, I just for years we had,
yeah,
especially in the pool room when we.
Yeah, Rolando, right? Yeah. Does really good work there at Strokers. Mainstay of that pool room. Fine player himself as well.
I think Rolando's here playing in the Open division.
Is
if
he?
I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
Yeah.
I haven't seen him.
Saw him running around.
Yeah, trying to get the cue ball to move. And on that type of shot there, you want
Rolando's sitting in the crowd right over there.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. Hadn't aged a day. Looks the same.
Our floor manager, Brad Jones, who's listening in, pointed him out. He said he's right there.
Yeah, there you go. All right, a thin one here. Really sweet stroke.
Nice cut. Finishes off the rack. Takes a 3-0 lead. Been all Jason Rogers so far in this match, and he'll have the break when we return.
He did it. He did it. Holy smokes, what a shot.
The 2 defeats the 9. David has beaten Goliath. Welcome back to the Hyatt Regency in Orlando, Florida. Continuing coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship, Jason Rogers of Dunn, North Carolina, has opened up a 3-0 lead in this race to 7. Jason with the break.
Yeah, it looks like a dry one. And Jason has played well to get this 3-0 lead, but Richard can say, I've had some chances, so if I can just settle down a bit, right? Kind of collect myself and maybe take a couple deep breaths. Certainly a player that's been in this position before and has made it through these types of matches. Just got to get that one rack. You know how it is, Jason, right? The first one and the last one. Pretty difficult. I'm trying to see here. Both are runnable. Definitely the solids are a little more available. Just think how to get to that 4 ball. Nice shot there. I was going to say I probably would like to take away the 7 and 2. They're not really doing me a whole lot of good. Not saying they're hurting, but okay, he's trying to save the 2. Thought he might pick the 2 off as well and then come 5, 3, 4, 6 to get on the 8. Again, an 8 ball, we always think about like safety valves or extras that, just in case I get in trouble. You want them there, but sometimes they kind of can pose a little bit of a problem also. End up a little short here. He's going to have to ease this if he wants to hold for the 4. And now in a good position, but again, since he didn't take that 2 ball way earlier, he's going to have to play the 4-6 and then get back over for the 2. Tell you what, I may consider shooting the 2 now and drawing back for the 4, just because again he's so perfect on it, and the 2's not any kind of helping ball. Pretty good stroke there though. And now a little cueing awkwardly. He's going to have to draw the cue ball. And that's what I mean as far as that 2 ball. If you don't fall on the 6 exactly how you want, it could be a little awkward. I think he's all right, though. He's just going to have to shoot the 2 from a little more distance after pocketing the 6. That's what he's looking at now. And 8 ball's a lot of accepting those kind of situations. Hey, I can't get perfect. I just got to make a nice one. There's that pocket.
Rattled the 2 in the corner.
Hit it pretty well also. And it's a hard thing. The 8 ball patterns, a lot of times you want to leave that ball, but again, it just takes a little experience to figure out, is it really helping me or not, or could it pose a problem later on? Yeah, and Richard just needs to make a few of those strokes he likes, kind of like get that feeling, and he'll be okay. Maybe that was one of them there. Okay, you don't want to wait on the 11. I know you got options to get there, but it just takes a little bit to get awkward. Oh, he's missed this ball. A little fortunate maybe the 10 kicked the 2 over. Not really leaving Jason any shot. How's your pool game, Jason Bowman? Hit any balls in the studio there?
I don't think I'm. Oh, of course, we're always hitting balls in the studio. I don't think I'm knocking anybody in this tournament off, though. It's a little above my speed here in
above your
Orlando. Yeah.
Well, pretty tough crowd. I mean, this Open, a mixture of both. Don't think like just one professional has to come in here and win this tournament for sure. That's how difficult the crowd is in the Open event. Good effort trying to go 2 rails, hit the 2 ball.
We have talked about the fact that the defending champion, Brett Stottlemyre, not here this year, unable to make it, had some personal family things come up that he needed to be home for, and thinking about the Stottlemyre family and wishing them the best. Wish he could be here, but obviously sometimes in life there's more important things that have to be dealt with, and so he is dealing with those back home.
Yeah, and it's important stuff. Brett loves the game so much. Even if he wasn't defending champion, he'd be here if he could.
Yeah, well, he was a guy that was here for years and always a favorite, but just could never quite snap it off. And then last year was the year, so you hate to see him not be able to make it to defend his title. But again, certainly thinking about him and his family, and wishing them the best.
He really showed us that game last year as well. It was incredible, some of the outs he made. All right, Richard, it's not exactly how you wanted it here. But again, when you can get through one of these racks, it can go a long ways. Get to the breaking end of things. That was a better stroke. A little more even-keeled.
Richard Andrews getting a little more in stroke, picks up his first rack of the match, now trails 3-1, and he will have the break when we return in just a moment. Did it?
Feels kind of good right now.
See if Jonathan can make some magic happen somehow.
Oh, she made it. She made it. And there's an unbelievable chance here for a team that was downhill 0. Never over till it's over, people.
True.
What a comeback by these two. Holy moly, people.
Back here in Orlando, Florida, continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Richard Andrews out of Huntsville, Alabama, now at the table with the break. Trailing by 2 racks. This will be the final game of the 8-ball set.
I thought it was like perfect connection on that second ball.
A lot of power, but nothing drops.
Yeah, just a great spread, unfortunately, for his opponent. Now Jason good chance, I think. It's the best spread of the match so far. Not a whole lot of issues. You still want to put a little bit of a plan together. You know, when you have problems, it kind of grabs your attention. But you still want to keep that attention when they're fairly open. That way you don't start to get out of line. You looking at the stripes maybe? Both are very playable. Like to get down to this 12 ball when I could. Take care of those down here on this bottom end. Well, also with an open rack, you got a lot of choices a lot of times, not many problems. I'm not saying that was realistically that much of a missable ball for Jason. He's shown us he can knock the ball in, but he had pretty much a throw in with the 13 to get the run started and gain control of this rack. So sometimes you have to take on missable balls because it makes sense or that's all you have. But overall, to get it started, you want to kind of secure that first shot if possible. All right, if I was Richard, I'd love to shoot this 14 right now and drop down on the 12 and be done with this part of the table besides the 8 later. Not saying the 11's a problem or the wrong shot, but I think I would evaluate. Now here he comes trying to get on that 12, so that's smart. But once you're on the 14 ball, you kind of like, that's kind of like the next problem. So he could have shot that first, taken care of it, get on the 12, and then leave the 13, 11, 9, 10 for last. Oh, this could get a little funny. He's a little thin on the 13 now. The 9 does go, but anytime you're close to the ball, it can be kind of awkward, the aiming. Don't really have much between the cue ball and the 9 ball to kind of visualize. Natural to slide over for the 14, though.
All right, that'll bring Jason back to the table.
Yeah, of course, he can't take care of the 2 or 1 just yet, but again, you want to get to it as quick as possible. Yeah, I'd like to roll forward here and take care of the 6 and then use the 3 to get on the 2 ball. It's going to be the 1 last. So it just needs to gain an angle on the 3, whether it's above it or a hair below it, just so he can work the cue ball back up table. It's got to slow down here. It's going to be on top of the 3, and this is going to be a problem.
Again, this is the last rack of the 8-ball set. Switch over to 9-ball after this game.
tell you, it wasn't a real makeable one ball off the 9, but I think he was just trying to do what he did, get the 9 off the rail, get the cue ball to that top rail, and make Richard earn it with a real nice shot here to start. Pretty smart play there from Jason. Do like the 14, just ease it in. Good shot. Yeah, I think all the matches going on at this 10:30 hour on the one-loss side, I think the ones that advanced through 2 matches yesterday are going to be playing, I believe, at noon and 1:30, along with some one-loss side matches as well. Has Rolando ever won this? Do you recall?
He has not.
No.
He's just always been a fixture because we were at Strokers for so many years. Of course, he's kind of the house man there.
Yeah,
If he wasn't playing, he was working on somebody's
cue.
Yeah.
He's
running a tournament.
Giving instruction. He, just a real nice guy as well. Never has anything bad to say about or to anyone. Okay, he's overhit this. Oh, I didn't realize he missed it. So that's when the timing's been off, when he's had to put a little something into the cue ball. Very common at times. He's got to come down the table. Make sure you stay away from the 8. All kinds of area and space to get to for the 2 or the 1. That'll do. Nice natural to come around the 9, a couple rails for the 2 in the same corner. See him chalking up, looking at the tip. That usually means the draw stroke's coming.
Jason Rogers regains a 3-rack lead over Richard Andrews, and he will have the break when we return in the 9-ball set. All right, we're back here in Orlando, continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Jason Rogers with the break once again, now in the 9-ball set. Pockets the 1 and the 2 on the break.
Yeah, real square hit on the 1. Making 2 balls, and you could see 5 more up the table. I kind of felt like looking at Jason and just the way his stroke was and whatnot. He was more of a 9-ball specialist than 8-ball, but did real well in the first part with the 8-ball.
Rattled that 3-ball, though.
Yeah.
It's been
Definitely
a
not
pesky
easy.
3-ball throughout this match for both these players. We'll see if Richard can capitalize on Jason's mistake now.
And maybe a good change of disciplines for Richard here. Sometimes just that little change can get you going. Nice shot there. Oh, he's going to get over the 6, so that's kind of nasty, really. Got kind of a big pocket in the side with the 8 there, though, somewhat. If you can hit, you kind of hit it, not easy, but somewhat easy. Taking this 4 on in the corner, boy, that's a tough shot. All right, hit that beautifully. Didn't even touch the 8. And look where that 8 is from the overhead. You'll see not much space there to get that 4 on by it, especially being jacked up over the 6.
Another rattled ball there for Richard. This time the 5 ball. Just seen some misses here from Richard that we don't normally see. And Jason, to his credit, been able to take advantage each time.
Yeah, and I've been there before, Richard. What happens when things get a little off? You'll notice most of the time with him, it's been when he needs a little power moving the cue ball, and sometimes you can't slow the stroke down when those the adrenaline's going and the nerves are going. All right, just make sure you get a little bounce off the rail. No reason to make this 9 kind of awkward with the cue ball near the cushion. It's good enough bounce. It goes from awkward to actually very nice when you just get that 4 to 5 inch bounce off the rail.
And Richard picks up that rack. First of the 9-ball set, now trails by just 2, and he will have the break when we return in just a moment.
This one is using actually 10 balls. So what exactly is a tangent? There's, in my opinion, 3 types of bridge: the closed bridge, the open bridge, and the rail bridge. We're gonna start with the closed bridge. Now, if you practice this, it's really gonna help you to go from a 2 to a 3. In this episode today, we're gonna cover how to go from a 3 to a 4. Let's get into it. The more you're gonna do it, see, as you can see, I touch sometimes a little bit of it. And 8, right? So to technically have 8 zones for 10 balls, so you have a little bit of room to spare. I really hope this was useful, and I cannot wait to see you for another video. Later, everybody.
Welcome back Continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Richard Andrews, Huntsville, Alabama, now at the break. Trailing by 2 games. This race to 7. Pockets the 4 on the break.
Yeah, great starter, obviously, and a very open table. Probably just comes off the 1. I kind of like just coming off the left side. Couple cushions, playing the 2 in the corner. That's near the side pocket, but really like to minimize the cue ball movement here. Don't want to get snookered on an open ball. Yeah, that'll work.
Just to give you an idea on the level of competition here as I look around and see some of the folks taking this match. You see Robert Hall in the stands, former U.S. Amateur champion, current Masters champion, along with his Masters teammate. Lance Ireland, both out of the Alabama area here, obviously rooting on Richard. But when we say it's a stacked field here in Orlando, top amateurs from across North America.
Richard getting snookered from nowhere. Yeah, I saw more really great players, solid players here today that I didn't even know were here in the event.
Yeah.
Some from Texas and a few
Former
other
champion,
places.
yeah, Jacob Watson here.
Yeah. Seen Jacob, but like just some guys I've worked with before, and just play some of the players I haven't seen in a long time, but still playing and trying to get this title. Mike Alonso from Houston, another really good player. John Askew, who a new guy into the Dallas area, but he's from England originally.
I think he won one of our singles championships a couple years ago
John
in Vegas.
did?
John,
Yeah.
that name sounds familiar.
He's a very solid player. He won his first 2 matches. I saw him this morning. Didn't even realize he was here in the event, but very avid pool player.
Nice safety there.
Kind of changing to pool. I think he was more of an English 8-ball and snooker player when he lived in England. But yeah, great kick safety there from Richard. Trying to return the favor here, Jason. This'll do. This'll do. Touche.
Jump cue time.
Yeah. Richard kicks at the ball really well. I'm a little shocked at the jump cue. Only reason being is I guess he'll play the bank with it. It looks like he's trying to maybe come off the left side of the 5.
Oh.
And I'm going to thread that corner a little bit.
He manages to get a clean hit on it.
One difficult shot out of the corner pocket. He has a little more angle than probably the TV tells us. So he's got to get through the ball, come to the rail, and back down.
Pockets the 5 in the side.
Looks like he's going to run the cue ball. Hit a little thick, so he's going to end up a little short. Just a little thick to the left side of the pocket. Usually costs you about a foot of cue ball movement. He's got to make a nice one here and also kind of hold the cue ball. A really good shot. Great recovery. And now to extend to that 3-game lead again.
Mm-hmm.
And inching towards that number 7.
Jason Rogers takes a 5-2 lead over Richard Andrews, and we'll have the break when we return in just a moment. Welcome back to Orlando, continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Jason Rogers once again with the break, now up 5-2 in this race to 7. Fires in the 3-ball.
Another solid hit on the rack.
This is a match on the one-loss side of the bracket, so one of these players will exit the tournament at the conclusion of this match.
Yeah, going for the safety. Got to watch out, not pocket the one on accident, trying to play the cue ball behind the 5. It's got to go a little bit. Not bad. I think he did give him a look, though. Probably a return safety here. Pretty good. Just trying to play for a containing 1 ball. The snooker's a bonus. Smart shot. It's not really going to give him ball in hand, or you wouldn't figure, but still very good safety from that position. Looks like he's going to kick 2 rails behind it. Got a little 9-ball action.
Mm-hmm.
Got him queuing over the 7, so not easy. Hardest shot in pool over a ball, it seems like. Tables look so good, Jason. I need to get my tail down here early and hit some balls.
Yeah. It's tough when you're giving lessons till the wee hours of the night.
Well, I hit a few last night. It was nice.
Yeah.
It felt good.
Which pool room did you go to?
Racks, which is in Sanford. Pretty popular pool room here. A lot of nice pool rooms, though, and I tell you, I come to Florida quite a bit for teaching and whatnot, and again, all the pool rooms seem like they're packed.
Yeah.
All the time. They even had I was there Monday, I guess it was. They had a pool league on Monday at like noon.
Looky there.
You hear that very often? Huh?
Pool league at noon, huh?
On a
Is it
Monday.
Seniors?
No,
coming?
not at all. No.
Interesting.
No. Yeah.
No, I don't hear that
I
often
just-
unless it's like a seniors kind of thing.
Yeah. Sunday, you see that a lot with the Sunday afternoon league, but weekdays not very often. Of course, Florida's a different beast.
Well, Richard had a little magic going there, but that one fell, and now he's got to find a path to the 2-ball. Look at there. Oh.
And he's left him just a little window at that blue 2, I think, anyways. As a race to 7, so Jason trying to get on the hill and Richard trying to do everything to keep him off it. Looks like he's got to work the ball a bit here to get on the 4. Oh, he played it on the softer side, held it nicely. Maybe too nice, really. Or nicer than he expected. Yeah, I think it was an APA league also.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. I think I asked about that. And
I do know we have some leagues that are for kind of service type.
Yeah.
Not when I say service, I mean in like a restaurant,
Yeah,
bar,
yeah,
industry
yeah.
people. Who obviously work evenings, so that could have been the case. Could have been a service industry kind of league for those folks whose schedules are a little bit different.
yeah.
We try to do everything we can to accommodate folks.
Well, Florida, again, there's so many people and so many different lifestyles. Oh, that was the stroke that we're used to seeing from Richard. That's why he got such good action out of the cue ball with pretty much looked effortless.
Fired that ball in there.
Yeah, nice stun stroke. He's got to kind of kill this. The 8's up off the rail a little more than you would think. That overhead's a great view, so he can kill it with a little inside spin.
Richard not taking anything for granted here. He's going to step back to a little more chalk on that tip. Make sure this 9-ball falls. And he's now pulled back within 2 of Jason Rogers, and Richard will have the break when we return in just a moment. And welcome back to continuing coverage of the 2024 U.S. Amateur Championship from Orlando, Florida. Richard Andrews out of Huntsville, Alabama. We'll have the break here. Six ball falls.
Yeah, pull's amazing. That one ball's just inches from the pocket. The cue ball maybe 2 feet away, and of course the 4 ball gets right in the middle. Don't think he can get at this edge of the 1. Sure like to, though, because this is a runnable rack. Won't be a push shot either with the one so near the pocket. He'll have to try and play some kind of kick shot. Maybe he can get at the one. No, he can't. Smart shot there. Completely by design. Maybe the jump cue, the first of the match.
Nice shot.
Very good. Could go for this combination. Could maybe play the 2-3 off the 8. It kind of looks like it sits okay from where he's at. Could play a natural combination onto the 2-3, but safety is probably what we'll see. May come off his left side of the 2 with a lot of left spin and kind of bleed the cue ball over behind the 7-9 off the bottom cushion. Takes a light touch, a lot of spin though. Yeah, like here. See that? He kept the 2 contained behind the 8 and 3. Very smart.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here, if he can get the hit, big favorite to get the snooker, really. Yeah, you see the cue ball come path right back on the 3. It was real natural. Good speed and good to recognize that shot. Yeah, if you saw, it just arced on him a bit. Talk about it all week. The slick table, it seems like the kicks is where it causes the most problems.
Ball in hand for Jason.
Yeah, very playable rack to get on the hill for Jason. Just needs a little draw here, not a whole lot. And just to get a nice angle on the 3 to draw back up table for the 4. Probably be the 5 in the side, you would think maybe, but 7, 8, 9 grouped together on the bottom. Maybe used another foot out of the cue ball there, but he's pretty ideal overall. It's a little light. So now a decision. Do I play this in the side softly? Do I go around the 8, which I kind of like, between the 8 and 9 with the cue ball? Looks like it's very natural. And up 2 rails for the 7. Oh, he killed it. So he's going to get a little thin and near the cushion on the 7. Type of shot, again, if your opponent leaves you this, you're ecstatic, right, after a miss. But if you leave yourself,
Yeah.
it gets a little mental at times. He's overcut it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, Richard, time to capitalize. Cut this to 1 game. Yeah, I like him getting back up off this. This is sits a little funny. You're going to shoot. Got to go super soft or a little more speed. You want a little more speed.
If Richard can finish out this rack, he would be down just one game. Cuts that 8-ball in, now shooting on the 9.
Watch out, cue ball just kind of went off a little bit. Oh, my.
Ouch.
Man.
Well, just as it looked like Richard would pull within one, he scratches after pocketing the 9. Jason will spot the 9, but he has ball in hand.
Yeah,
And that'll put him on the hill, leading 6-3, and he will have the break and try to put this match away when we return in just a few moments.
I can't believe it. You did it. We're going to Vegas. Oh my.
Welcome back to Orlando, continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Jason Rogers now on the hill, one rack away from advancing in this tournament. A dry break there, though.
Yeah, not a square hit as we've seen the entire match there from Jason. Came across the one a little bit. It's the main way you really miss the corner ball. I don't think Richard can do a whole lot here. Maybe just kind of knock this in, rub the 9 a little bit. May have to take a little distance on the 2. These kind of racks, though, even though trailing, you get out here, go a long ways. Is he trying to go around the 9? Oh, he spun it with inside. Good shot, but the cue ball opened up a bit. So our first look at the jump cue for Richard that I can recall. Anyway, he jumped at the 5 ball. That's right. He jumped at the 5. Yeah. Good effort. Looks like he's going to get the snooker. May see the jump here. Come off the right side of the 2 and maybe try and make the 9. I know you got to jump 2 balls, but he was really good with the jump cue earlier, pocketing the 1.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
Get a little action on it?
Yeah.
Jason loves the 9-ball action.
Yeah. Well, down 6-3, Richard cannot afford any more mistakes. Gonna have to dig deep.
No, nice safety. Is the 5 going to ruin it? Oh, my. Just been one of those matches. Of course, Richard will tell you he's made a few mistakes that he normally doesn't make, but when he's gotten a few good shots, it hasn't got the best of luck either.
Well, again, credit to Jason because he's taking advantage at every turn. When, a mistake is made, he capitalizes.
No, he made some really nice shots in the 8-ball to get this lead and has played really solid 9-ball. Oh, cue ball needs to go a little bit. Now we may see that jump cue. All right, Richard, let's see what kind of shot you get. Not much of one, but he is out of the chair, so.
Make sure we give a shout out to all of our sponsors, Diamond Tables, Aramith Balls, Action Cues, and of course the good folks at PoolDog.com. Appreciate all their support. Keep all of our sponsors in mind as we enter the Christmas season, the holiday shopping season.
How's the speed there? Going 3 rails and attaching the cue ball to the 7. No jump cue on this one. Needs a little bit of spin. Yeah, that was the spin I was talking about that was required to really get at that 4. Side pocket was kind of in the way of the natural kick shot. And he's got to come 2 cushions here unless he really kills this ball with a lot of spin. And it's going to be a little heavy, so he's going to get difficult on the 6 and near the rail with the cue ball. So a true tester here, especially with your opponent on the heel.
Well, what do you think, Jeremy? Could be it here?
Yeah, huge favorite. He's getting out here like 9 out of 10 probably. Let's just say I'd be a little surprised if he didn't, or very surprised if he didn't get out. Jason's played pretty solid. Got kind of straight, so you can see him chalking the cue. He's got to draw the ball. Very capable draw stroke, though. Oh, he just kind of stunned it, took the distance. Pretty smart.
Not over yet, Jeremy.
No, there's life.
See if Richard can find a way to extend this match.
Yeah, There's merit both on the bank or the cut here. Little preference. Wow, super
cut.
nice cut.
Richard Andrews pockets that 9 ball. He's going to keep this match going. Now trails 6-4, and he will have the break when we return in just a moment.
No way. He did it. He did it. Holy smokes. What a shot.
The 2 defeats the 9. David has beaten Goliath. Welcome back to Orlando, continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Richard Andrews with the break here, trailing by 2 racks.
Corner ball down, 1 ball near that other corner.
1 ball's down, can see the 2.
Yeah, super nice on the 2. 4's near, 5, 6, 7 on this bottom end. A little work there from the 8 to the 9, but put a lot of heat on his opponent here with a break and run. He's perfect with the cue ball there. Very tidy position. He's overran his position a little bit here. It's obviously not tough. Just a hair awkward as far as position on the 7. Would have loved that cue ball to stop just a couple inches quicker. That would have made things very routine. Now he's got to maybe address this ball with a little bit of spin. May have to come around the 9. We'll see. This is where inside spin, that right English doesn't really check the ball, so I'd rather go around the 9. This has got to go a little bit. It's going to end up okay. Fired that ball in. A little awkward over the 9, kind of drawing back on top of the 9 a bit. This type of shot is easy to miss if you don't kind of commit on what you want to do with the cue ball. You want to just stay there and accept the shot on the 9. You want to draw back, maybe get a little thinner on the 9, but closer to it. One of the trickier shots, really, for a really good shot at the ball. Something he's supposed to make. Now he's going to get on top of it. It's all about speed control, and it looks perfect.
Richard now pulls within 1 after a timely break and run. He'll have the break when we return here in just a few moments.
This one is using actually 10 balls. So what exactly is a tangent? There's, in my opinion, 3 types of bridge: the closed bridge, the open bridge, and the rail bridge. We're gonna start with the closed bridge. Now, if you practice this, it's really gonna help you to go from a 2 to a 3. In this episode today, we're gonna cover how to go from a 3 to a 4. Let's get into it. The more you're gonna do it, see, as you can see, I touch sometimes a little bit of it. And 8, right? So to technically have 8 zones for 10 balls, so you have a little bit room to spare. I really hope this was useful, and I cannot wait to see you for another video. Later, everybody.
All right, we're back here in Orlando, continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Richard Andrews now trails by just 1 rack. I still need to do it. Looking to even this match up. Another ball in the break for Richard. 1 ball drops. He can see the 2.
Thank you. Yeah, he can cut the 2 in. I mean, he's very capable of that, but holding position. Now, if he kind of could spin back into the 8 with like a low right English and hold for the 3, the problem is the 2 is definitely missable, but I like his chances of making it if he shoots at it, but holding position, that's the real issue. I think he's going to bang this ball away and try and hold him behind the 8. Yeah, I like that. Very good. Very good. So keeping the pressure on. All right, this should be a 2 to 3 rail kick around the 5 and 6. Oh, you can go 1 rail cross. This is all right. Kind of overlooked that, really. Very good hit. Very good hit. Of course, he's going to give up a shot, but just so much better than giving up ball in hand. This is there, just a draw stroke to get on the 3 to get the run started for Richard. Trying to get hill. He got plenty on it. More than he expected, probably. Now he's going to have to find a little gap, I think, between the 7-9. Just accept some kind of shot on that 5 ball. Could try to work the cue ball between the 7-9 up the table. That's what he's looking at now. Got to really get a lot of the speed right because he's got to go past the 7-9, so it's probably going to go to the top rail and then back down, or back up rather, for the 5. Thought he could roll this though and just get between the 7-9. It looks like he's going to draw off the 3. Yeah, that's what I would look at right there where he was just looking. I mean, if you're flirting with going behind the 9, yeah, you got to do something else. But you can roll forward and bump and the rail, maybe even bump the 9 away. That's okay. He's drawing it. Okay, is the speed going to be enough to get that shot he needs? It's going to be a hair light. But Richard, of course, being a very experienced player and now back in the match, I just don't feel like there's going to be panic. May go for the bank here, but also may play a safety or a two-way shot. Great speed on the bank there, letting the bank open up a bit. I'll tell you, if he gets this ball down, it's not easy when the nerves are going, but should be staring heel straight in the face.
Well, Jason Rogers now. Of course, had a chance to close it out in that last rack. Failed to pocket the 9. Certainly doesn't want his opponent on the hill.
Hit that pretty well, I thought. Yeah, it's going to sneak in. Used every bit of the pocket, but it still works. Now, is he bumping the 8 here when he shoots the 7? I think so. Now, if he hits it light with like a straight English, maybe not, but a hair of left.
Get the overhead here real quick. There it is.
Yeah, just wants a little bump on the 8, nothing heavy. That'll do. Gonna have to come 2 cushions, but it's definitely there. Not too much side spin here, just a hair right spin. That way you avoid the side pocket scratch. Oh, it's a little light. That's got to go a bit. It is going to dress up for a cross-side bank that's fairly natural, though.
Big shot here. Big shot there. Pockets the 9 on the side. Jason Rogers wins that match. Nice show of sportsmanship there. So what looked like might be an improbable comeback falls a little bit short for Richard Andrews. He will exit this year's tournament. Jason Rogers out of Dunn, North Carolina will move on, and we will have more coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship coming to you shortly. Thanks for tuning in.